This is something that we keep on mentioning in our podcast, and it's social media.
Yes.
The effects of social media on us, because it's our stories, right? But what is the effect of social media on younger minds, too?
I think we've all been kind of victims of this warped reality that social media has created throughout all platforms. And I think we need to tell our truths about this topic and how it affects us, and maybe someone can relate to it.
Yeah. Today, we're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about the researchers that have studied social media and the effects on mental health. Peer reviewed, by the way. I'll explain what that means. And our experiences, like Maria said, on our journey with social media. Welcome to episode 8. Sex,
Relationships
careers,
and just plain life, from the experience of two Latina actresses.
welcome to the Unfiltered. Hi, I am Vanessa Tomasino.
And my name is Maria Bruzon.
And today we're talking about social media. And it's funny because I was just saying to you that when I was young, in my 20s, social media didn't exist. So it's weird that now social media is part of our lives, everyday lives, when it wasn't for almost half of my life.
Yeah, it's like I feel like newer generations are almost hardwired to know how to navigate throughout all media social media platforms. I was kind of in the middle.
Hmm.
I wasn't born with social media, but social media started when I was transitioning to from a teen to a young adult.
Wow, that's hard.
Yeah. Or maybe from like a kid to a teen, then a young adult.
Yeah.
So when I was figuring it out my identity and who I was, that's when social media began. Hmm.
Wow. That's really difficult
Yeah.
because you're getting so much information.
Hmm.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because for me, I was 27. I mean, we had High Five and all those
MySpace.
MySpace, the earlier versions of social media, but I didn't even check them. Like I remember having High Five, and I would just post 3 pictures maybe a year, and it wasn't part of your reality.
Also, smartphones changed the
Smartphones.
game
Yes,
because
that's right.
and your
Because
Apple Watch
they're like right here.
and you have it on your wrist, like every
Yes.
notification, you get
Yeah.
it like in the palm of your hand.
Absolutely, every like.
Yeah.
Well, I've turned them off, but
Me too.
technically you could. Okay, so I was 27. I'm supposed to be an adult, right? You were a teen. Let's talk about here are 11 things that affect the mental well-being of people that use social media. This is amazing. These are all points from research from academia. They're peer reviewed. Peer reviewed means that when you write an essay, you cannot just publish an essay, a scientific essay, but it has to be approved by your colleagues in the industry or in the academia, so that you're not lying,
Yeah.
right? Like I cannot just publish
It's not
something.
like Wikipedia.
No, it's not
Yeah.
Wikipedia where
Mhm,
everybody
mhm.
writes anything. No, in this case, you actually have to do research and then it has to be approved by your peers. That's why it's called peer reviewed.
Mhm.
So when you get published, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. So here are 11 points that researchers agree that are issues that you can find with the use of social media. First of all, number one, eating disorder.
Not
There's an
surprised.
not surprised. Eating disorder risk increased with social media. Number two, depression, lower self-esteem, appearance, anxiety, and body dissatisfaction.
Body dysmorphia.
Oh, totally. Are all associated with Instagram use. Posting selfies impacts mood. One study published in 2018 showed that the women who took and posted selfies reported worse mood and felt less attractive. So there's a correlation on you taking selfies and then feeling less than. It's amazing. Because anybody would say, well, she loves herself because she's posting pictures of herself. But if you think about it, it's almost like you're trying to validate yourself through the pictures, convince yourself that you are attractive indeed. Crazy. Number 4, social media use increased desire for cosmetic surgery.
Oh, yes. It's
We'll
crazy.
talk about that. All these points we'll come back to.
Okay.
I'm just giving you an overview right now, but I think we need to
This is like the
unpack.
abstract.
Yes, and we need to talk about our experiences
Yeah.
with that. Number 5, brain activity changes with likes.
Hmm.
Wow. So the participants exhibited greater brain activity when they were shown photos with more likes. When their own photos received likes, the brain's reward center was
Yeah,
activated.
it's like a drug. It's addictive. You
Yes.
want. It's like the satisfaction that comes through like getting a lot of likes.
That's crazy. It
Yeah.
says the researchers conclude a like is a social cue specific to adolescents' cultural sphere, and adolescents use this cue to learn how to navigate their social world. That is insane, people. Okay, let's keep on going before we start crying. Number 6, drive for thinness. And that's increased with the use of
Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram.
So following models and fitness bloggers and all that stuff. Number 7, manipulation of photos is a problem for body image. Yes, we know
The
that.
Photoshop, the good old Photoshop.
Yes, to look thinner and
Facetune.
slimmer and all that stuff. Number 8, social media literacy intervention can help teenage girls avoid eating disorders. That's true if you educate them. And maybe if you show them, like, okay, this is how you look and this is how the picture is doctored or altered, then you can know that why strive for something that doesn't really exist. So I guess education and intervention, early intervention, can help. Number 9, those who compare themselves with others are at greater risk. So if you're constantly looking at pictures, well, we talked in the other podcast with Teda, remember?
Yes.
That he was saying that even men do that. Like they
Mhm.
compare each other, like fitness wise. Girls will look at other girls and like, oh, she dresses nicely, she has more money, she looks pretty, she's thin. So that we are at greater risk of mental health if we compare ourselves to other people. Number 10, suicidal thoughts linked to social media use. One review of 9 studies on social networking and suicide found online social networking also leads to increased exposure to and engagement in self harm behavior due to users receiving negative messages, promoting self harm, emulating self injurious behavior of others, and adopting self harm practices from shared videos.
That's so sad.
We need to talk about that. I was just saying to you this morning, it's like I don't understand people that have the time to throw hate online, especially when
Me too. I don't
we
get
don't
it.
get it, especially when you're not brave enough to put your picture and your name. Like us, we use our legal names here. You see our faces. We're not hiding.
Yeah.
All our comments come from our heart, our experience, our truth. But there's so many people who hide behind handles that say, I don't know, like a Google user 12345.
Just to
It's
throw hate or say
yes,
something negative or like bring you down.
it's easy to do that because
Yeah.
you're hiding behind a computer or a phone, right? So we'll talk about that because you're leaning to suicidal thoughts on people. Number 11, reducing social media reduces loneliness and depression. That's
Yeah,
interesting
it's interesting.
because what happens is social media has a negative effect on our well-being. So
It isolates you.
we walk away,
Yeah.
but then when we walk away, we feel alone. And if we feel alone, it's like I'm Sherlock Holmes here. And if we feel alone, it means that we have lived through the reality of social media and not the real community outside. And that's a problem.
It's a problem. I have. Well, we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Let's get to it now. Go,
Okay.
Maria. Go, Maria.
Well, with the last point, like
Yeah, let's go
see it-
backwards if you want.
I
Yeah.
see it with my mom.
Yeah.
I love her. She's my mom, obviously, but she's not present. She's never present. I can't, to this day, I can't have like a nice conversation, and it doesn't have to be deep. It can be like surface level conversation, but she's not present.
Is it because she's online?
She's on her phone.
Oh.
She's on TikTok and scrolling, and I want to get to another point that it's so interesting how social media is designed. It's designed to like Las Vegas casino machines, like
Yes.
because it's like so satisfactory to just keep scrolling, and like when you refresh, it's like you You pull down the handle and
Hmm.
you get something new, and then you get something new, and you get something new all the time.
Stimulation and
It's
rewards.
yeah. So getting back to the original point,
Yeah.
it's very problematic because you are living in an unreal reality. It's a warped reality, and you're missing out on actual life,
Yes.
and then you isolate from people and your surroundings.
And the evidence is on that point, number
Yeah.
11, is the idea that the moment you decide to cut off social media, you feel lonely because all of your time was invested in social
Yeah.
media. It means that you haven't actually created bonds, of real bonds with people in front of you.
And you see it with a lot of, well, for example, here in El Salvador, it's not uncommon to see TikTok personalities or celebrities and see their on-screen self and see their actual self in real life.
Very different.
It's very different
Yes, yes.
because they're so invested in their TikTok reality or
Mhm.
Instagram reality. And when you get to know them, and it's okay if they, if they are more comfortable
Online.
online,
Hmm.
it's obviously, but it's very interesting to see that abysmal
Yeah.
difference because they're just living through their phones, and they're not like actually socializing or trying to develop interpersonal relationships with other people.
It's true. And it's funny because we are on TikTok, we are on IG, but I think our brand is very much transparency.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, what you see here with Maria, that's what you see on TikTok. That's what you see on the street. Not that
Yeah.
you're a prostitute. I made it sound like you're on the streets. But what I'm saying is, like, when you see her and you meet her in person, this is it. That's how she is. The same with me. And I think that we're very proud that we have
Yeah.
been able to never change who we are to receive approval. Yeah, we get hate, obviously. Who
Obviously.
doesn't? Yeah. But I do think there's something really special on being yourself and then showing the world this is who I am. And you have a great TikTok brand. Like, it's just you.
Yeah, I mean, when I first, because I'm not gonna lie, and I think you understand what I'm about to say.
Okay.
It feels really good to get social media attention to a certain extent. Like when your TikToks do
Yes.
well, when your pictures on Instagram do well, you're like, oh, I'm getting noticed, I'm getting seen. Especially for us in our careers, we're actresses. It's very important because nowadays your following on TikTok or Instagram defines what roles you get and if you
True.
get roles.
True.
So when you get the attention, it's like, okay, I'm getting seen. It's that's good. That's perfect. But once I started getting a lot of attention, I made a promise to myself, and it was to be as transparent and as real as I could be
Yeah.
online because I know how this has affected me, and I didn't want to, I don't want to do that to other people,
Mm-hmm.
you know? For example, my acne. I struggle with acne, and I try to be as transparent as possible with that. I try to tell people like, okay, yeah, I know about skincare. I am a makeup artist as well. My skin's not perfect, and if yours is not perfect, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be perfect.
So I made a promise to myself, and also when I'm not feeling like, when I don't feel like going to the gym, I feel like posting it. Like today, I'm not feeling it, but I'm gonna do my best and go. A lot of people like answer like, thank you for being so honest, thank you for being so transparent. Like I don't want to go to the gym today either, but you pushed me to
Yeah,
go through with it.
I agree. You are right. We feel a certain reward, which is what was one of the points, right? There's a reward that we get from likes and comments about people accepting us, our true self.
Hmm.
I like that too. Like, I post some stuff about my life, and when they are received positively and people say, "Oh, I understand," or "I identify," you feel good because you're like, okay, we're. But I think it's because we're connecting on a human level.
Yeah.
It's like what I said to you last time on another episode. I said I would feel weird if I looked better in a picture than in person.
Yeah.
Like, if people saw me in person and they'd be like, "Oh my God, you don't look like your pictures," I couldn't live with myself because it means that I am lying to you. And the same with our TikToks and stuff like that. It's like you,
Not even that, you're lying to yourself
and
as
you're lying
well.
to yourself. Absolutely, you're lying to the
Yeah.
people, and you're lying to yourself. Absolutely. And there's something strange about that, because then it's almost like you don't want to validate who you are, like you're real.
Hmm.
Your who, your looks come from, you're like your mom, you're like your dad. Why would you want to alter that? And why would you want to look like anybody else? But we'll get to those points. But you're right, it feels nice when you get positive comments on your truth. When I started TikTok and I started getting views, it was weird for me because, as an actress, you're right. It's nice. You have to have social media now because directors and producers will look you up. And it's a publicity tool as well. They know that if they hire somebody with a lot of followers, then half of their publicity is covered
Yeah.
for the people that are going to watch a movie or a series. So for us, it's as a tool for work, it's very important to have social media and to have followers. But that being said, in most of my career, I didn't have that because I started my career in
Yeah.
the 2000s.
Hmm.
So we didn't have these tools. So I've been adapting. At first, it felt weird. Then, when I started getting a lot of views, I became crazy,
Hmm.
like what you were saying. My world started revolving around TikTok, and I was like, I need to get a video of this. I need to get a picture of this. And I remember back in May, I think it was, I was so insecure because I was producing so many videos, and I was traveling and everything. And even when I was with my friends having dinner, I would have my phone. I would put it up and I'd be like
Yeah.
snapping video and be like, "I'm with her.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but if you look at it in the context of reality, it looks weird that
It
somebody is
does.
that in the middle of a conversation, somebody just pulls up a phone and does this.
Yeah.
It looks crazy. Okay, so I noticed that it was a turn off for my friends to be with someone like that, and I stopped. And now, yeah, I have less footage and I have less material for my TikToks, but I'm present.
Hmm.
And it comes back to your reality of TikTok and the people you said that in person are so weird. They don't even talk in person,
Yeah.
right? They don't connect, but online they're super nice. It's like
Yeah, and they're like super social and very like talkative and everything. And then in person, you're trying to, have a conversation, and they're just
yes,
quiet, shutting
yeah,
you out.
strange. And
It
so
is.
so it's not reality, right? It's not reality.
Yeah.
I tell you this time I went to this party with some friends, and there was this girl who was huge on TikTok. She was at the time. This is back in 2016. She was huge. I didn't even have TikTok, but she was huge on TikTok. Maybe it was Instagram. I can't remember, but she was huge on social media. And we were at a party, and she's super beautiful, beautiful by the way, naturally beautiful.
Hmm.
And then she gets her phone, and it was so sad because she's like, "We're at the party," and I'm like, "Do you want to go dance?" She's like, "No, I don't feel like dancing." I'm like, "Okay. Do you want to play a game?" "No, I don't feel like doing that." And then 2 seconds later, she gets her phone out, and she's like, "Hey, friends, I'm hanging out with Vanessa here. I'm having a blast. We're dancing. We're playing games. It's an amazing night." She turns it off, and then she goes back to,
Yeah.
"I don't want to do anything." I was in front of me, and I looked at her. I'm like, this is almost like schizophrenic material. And I'm not insulting people who have schizophrenia because I know it's a challenge as well, but I'm saying Gemini,
Yeah.
two personalities.
Yes. Yes.
It
Yes.
felt
Yes. Yes.
strange. It felt really strange, and that's when I knew that social media have some has to have a negative effect on our mental well-being when that's happening, right?
Hmm.
Let's talk about the other points, because we have so many points here that I think are important. um, the suicidal thoughts and the negative comments. I It blows my mind, Maria. It blows my mind that people can get behind their computer or their phone and attack somebody that they don't even know. I wouldn't even attack somebody I would know,
Me neither.
even if I didn't like them. I would just walk away because those are the choices that person has made. But the idea of writing something negative to somebody that you don't know feels really odd to me.
It's almost I'm at a loss of words.
Me
Like
too.
I
Me too. It's a
there's many
strange.
things that I don't understand. For example, I don't understand Wi-Fi. I don't care how many times people explain it to me how
Oh
it
yeah, yeah.
works.
I saw your post about that.
I don't understand how it works.
Yeah,
You can explain it how, like as many times as you please. I'm not gonna understand it.
I love
I
you.
don't understand traffic. Like if you
Okay.
have to go to some point, like why don't you just get to where you need to go? I don't understand. I don't understand traffic. It's mind-boggling. Um, and this is one of the things that I don't understand. Like I don't understand why someone would want to put someone else down,
Yeah,
let alone tell someone else and hide behind a screen and tell them to kill themselves.
yeah. It's strange. It's so
It's
strange.
mind-boggling. And you know some like something that I mean it's not doesn't make it right,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of it gives not hope. I don't know what word to use.
Okay.
But for example, I don't know if you know the Hailey Bieber and Selena Gomez situation.
I've been trying to understand it, but it's something
Okay,
along the
so
lines that one girl left, no, a boyfriend left for another girl, and now they're friends. Something like
well,
that.
he didn't leave anyone for anyone else.
Okay.
Like Selena Gomez was Justin Bieber's, sweetheart, whatever, when they
Okay.
were like teens to young adults, and then they broke things up, and then he married Hailey Bieber.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay.
But all the Jelena fans, which is just Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez fans,
Mm-hmm.
sent death threats to Hailey Bieber
What? Why? What?
because he left her for Hailey, and vice versa. Like Hailey Bieber fans would send death threats to Selena Gomez. I don't understand why would you think that just because they're celebrities you're entitled to do that or
Yeah.
to, send negative stuff over to them. But if that happens to celebrities,
Yeah.
that
I
happens to
know.
celebrities. And it's not like they're gods or anything, but like it happens to everyone
It happens to everybody, and
with any level of fame or attention.
people forget they're humans. I
People
said
forget. That's the point where I wanted to get to. People forget they're humans.
I know.
It doesn't matter if they're the queen, well, now the king of
Mhm.
England, or if it's the most famous celebrity or a singer or a dancer or an actress. Like it doesn't matter. You're not entitled to doing stuff like that.
Why would you forget that this person, the person that's receiving the messages, is going to feel strong, or how could you not know that you're breaking this person's heart? How could you not know that this human is going to be affected by your words in a deeper level than just saying, "Oh, you're being mean to me." Come on. You must know that what you're doing is wrong. You must know.
And also, like for some, in some cases, when people like point out a flaw that you didn't even see about yourself, and now you've created an insecurity that wasn't even there in the first place.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
like why? Like what's the point? How do you have energy or time to do that? Like I don't find time in the day
To attack
to
somebody.
to freaking, I don't know, sleep. Why would I just go out of my way and write something negative?
Yes. I was looking for on my TikTok right now to read some of the negative stuffs that I've been getting. I posted a video on my job. I opened TikTok not because I wanted people to know who I was, but because a lot of people want to be actors, and I wanted to show them
Mm-hmm.
that you can do it. Like if I can do it, you can do it, right? It's like that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
It helps for my career too. What we were saying about the likes and the producers looking us up, but ultimately it's about passing the knowledge and making sure that the newer generations can also do what I
Mm-hmm.
do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I got some hate.
Of
People
course.
saying things like, I've never seen you. I've never seen you. So you don't exist. It's like,
Like
what?
you're not on Netflix, like so then you're not an actress. Like since when is Netflix like the parameter of
I know. It's like
whether
there's so many
you're
other pictures. And so, like so many, channels, festivals. There's so many things.
platforms and there's also short films. There's also theater. Like it's I don't understand it.
Yes. And so I get those comments of people saying things like, "Well, they say I'm Salvadoran and I've never seen you, so it's a lie." Another person wrote, um, "If you just say it and you don't show proof, there's no evidence, so it's a lie." I'm like, "What?" I have
You can click the link on my bio to
I
go to my
it's like
IMDb page and like see all.
Google me. You can just
Yeah.
Google me. It's like things like that. And I still put the links and everything. So last night I posted another video of somebody who was saying things like, "You're clearly not an actress because you're not famous." And I was like, I don't want to be famous. I didn't choose this career to be famous.
Mhm.
I mean, most actors are not famous, but we do live from this. We have a pension. We have extended health care. We have so many benefits and we
Mhm.
love what we do. So I responded to a person saying something negative. And I just said the truth. I'm like, listen, I don't even like people recognizing me on the street, but I do make money from what I do, and I love what I do. I love what I do. So why would you bring me down?
Yeah.
Like, I just said that. Like, why would you attack me? You don't even know me. And right now, it's ironic that I'm looking for negative comments for you. And after I posted that
You
video,
only
I'm
have
getting
positive
positive.
comments.
Yes.
That's
So thank you
amazing.
guys. I appreciate no, and it means a lot when you get positive comments of people saying like, "Don't listen to him. He's an idiot," or "We appreciate what you do for the country," things like that. You do feel good.
And it's funny because you can get 100 positive comments, but that one negative just breaks
Yes.
you down.
And it does. We shouldn't listen to
Because
that.
for me, in my experience, the positive overweighs the negative every
Yeah.
single time, and I'm so thankful of the people that follow me and the people that I'm able to at least inspire, or I don't
Yeah.
know, or if they like my content, or if they like my not funny jokes or whatever. I appreciate everything, and I mean, I wouldn't say I have built a community, because I don't think I'm not a content creator or an
But you
influencer.
have though,
But
because
like the people that my following, they're great.
Mhm,
They always try to, they help me push myself, and they
mhm.
push me in to do better. So the positive is always more than the negative, but that one negative, it just,
It does. It
it
does.
gets to you,
I
and it's
rem-
inevitable.
I remember having somebody said to me, and it was very nicely put. It's like, imagine that you're in a theater and you're singing or you're doing something or you're telling jokes, whatever, stand up, and then everyone's laughing, but there's one person that isn't laughing. Everyone else is laughing. The 1,000 people are laughing, and there's one person that's not laughing. We focus on that one person. We're like, I want to make you laugh. I want to make you laugh. And you're working really hard to tell the joke, and you're actually looking at the person going like, ta-da, laugh. You're doing everything in your power to just get the acceptance and validation from this person. And they don't show you any love, right? And then at the end of the show, all the people come up to you and they're like, "You're amazing," and they want to hug you, and they want to take pictures with you and everything. And you push them because you're like, you want to get to that one person
Yeah.
and be like, "What's wrong with you? Why don't you like me?"
Mhm.
But what's happening is that you've pushed away all the other people who
Mhm.
actually love you. And we focused on the one person that maybe wasn't compatible with us or whatever. So we need to bring that noise out. We
Mhm.
can't focus on that. But we're talking, Maria, let's bring it back to reality. We are two professional women who are relatively successful in what we do. But what happens when you're a teenager? What happens when you're a teenager and figuring life out? And then you have these comments of people saying something like, "You're fat, you're ugly, you're never going to make it. That's why your boyfriend left you, or you're never going to have a boyfriend." How is that impacting the young minds? That's troubling.
It is. It's troubling because at that moment in your life, you're still trying to figure out who you are, and you're trying to find your identity, what you like, what you don't like, and it's almost like social media is dictating what you are, what your
Yes.
worth is.
Molding you. It's
It's
molding
molding
you
you.
or grooming you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, ugh.
Grooming is a serious problem in our culture. It doesn't only shape your personality, but it's sexually grooming you to become a shell of a person where the only value that you have is your body. Sexualization of teens is a huge problem online. And teens having two Instagram accounts, their family ones, like the normal one, and then their fake
Their
Instagram,
Finsta.
their Finsta. where I've seen some finstas and they're messed up in the sense that they're so dark and edgy and sexual, and then I go, wait a second, you're a 13-year-old kid.
Mhm.
As a culture, we're failing.
We are, and I don't know if you've seen those like jokes on TikTok and memes on Instagram, like me when I was a 14-year-old, and
Oh
you're like
yes.
this, um,
Yes, I've seen those.
unibrow
I've been there.
braces and like with the overalls, and then you see 14-year-olds now, and they're like crop tops and like mini skirts and super skinny, super thin, beautiful, like makeup. It's funny, but it's not.
Mm-hmm. The meme is like, the comparison is funny,
It's funny
but the
when you're
reality is
you're
not.
the ugly 14-year-old, and you're like, oh fuck. But if you get deeper into that, like, why did that change? Why are 13, 12 year olds looking like they're 18, 19, 20 year olds?
Mm-hmm.
It's social media.
It is. It is. I did the teenage dirtbag trend
Yeah.
recently, and I got to see my teenage pictures. I was such a geek, and I love it, but I was so innocent. There's nothing sexual about it.
No.
I'm a 14. My first kiss was at 14, and it was with some random guy who was trying to make his girlfriend jealous or something like
Oh my
that. So it
God.
was super sad, but I really liked him at the time. The kiss was horrible, by the way. Oops, sorry. You don't know who you are. I'm not talking about you. Yeah, it was really bad. But if you look at the pictures, you see a kid,
Mhm.
no makeup, or barely any makeup, or like silly makeup. Silly
Mhm,
makeup
mhm,
when
mhm.
you're young and you don't know what you're doing, but you're still trying to wear it. So,
Yeah.
so just lipsticks and some
Yeah.
white powder,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But now the girls who are 14-year-olds, they're like pro makeup artists.
Yeah.
Their makeup is like Beyonce concert. It's like, I never looked like that.
I don't like. I mean, I know generations change and everything, but why would you want to fast forward to you being
Yes,
an adult?
I
If
know.
I had one advice to give, well, one of many to give to my younger self is like, there's no rush.
Oh
There's
yes.
no rush.
Oh
Like be
yes.
a kid.
Yeah, I would say the same
Like
thing.
okay. Well, in the last podcast, if you didn't hear it, you can go hear it now. But we talked about how the 30s are better than
Yeah.
20s. I'm
Hmm.
still in my 20s, so I have hope
Hmm.
that it will get better.
It'll be amazing. Trust
But
me.
I mean, it's for now. I what I like about being an adult is, I'm being independent financially
Yeah.
and being able to do whatever I want,
Pursuing your
pursuing
dreams.
my dreams,
Hmm.
decision
Having
making,
having awesome friends that are not
having
from
yeah,
school.
expanding my social circle, my
Yeah.
friends, my who I interact with, who I surround myself with.
Yeah.
I have a choice. I decision making and everything. Like, it's fun because you're not obliged. What's the
Yeah, because you're now independent.
yeah.
So you're not somebody's dependent, and you're not forced to do things.
I'm not forced to be around anybody that I don't want to be around
Kiss
with.
your uncle.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's a problem.
Yeah, it is.
But when you're a kid, your only responsibility is to go to school.
Hmm.
And for me, it was like do sports.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hmm.
Like don't like there's no rush.
Don't rush it,
And
people.
now girls are just and I'm not criticizing them, but I wish someone could tell them like
Us.
there's no yeah. I mean,
Listen to us. Hmm.
hopefully someone that's going through that right now can get a message behind this podcast and just
Hmm.
reflect like there you don't have to be anyone, you don't have to look this like a certain specific way. It's okay to look up to other celebrities or role models, but you don't have to be them, you don't have to look like them, you don't have to lose weight or dress like them by any means.
And it's not their fault.
It's not.
It's, imagine if you were born after 2010, 2006 when Facebook started, if you were born after 2006, your entire life, in your entire life, you've seen social media since birth.
Hmm.
The
That's my sister.
messages, your sister, oh
Yeah.
God, the messages you're receiving, it's terrible because the messages you're receiving are all about change yourself, be like this, do this. How do you even have a voice as a person? It's hard to have your own mind. It's hard to listen to yourself when you're bombarded by definitions of identity and subjectivity.
Hmm.
It's messed up. This brings us to our next point, Maria: beauty standards, specifically with plastic surgery.
Yeah, I mean, though, like, well, I know a couple of social media influencers that actually do the posts where they put super Photoshop picture and then they you can swipe and you see the real picture.
Yeah,
I love that because filters and Facetune and Photoshop, they're very damaging to our own mental health and our beauty standards and how we look at ourselves. I've been a victim of that. The filters, it kind of gives me a taste of what I could look like if I just did a little this and a little Botox here and a little filler
yeah.
here and a little more makeup and I think about it 24/7. It's something I'm trying to let go. I'm trying to work on, but I think about how I can better myself, my physically 24/7.
That's messed up.
I look at myself in the mirror and it's hard for me to look at myself and say I love myself just the way I am. It's extremely hard.
And you are a stunning woman.
And I don't see that.
Man, if you could be sitting next to me, I mean, you can see her on the video, but it's not the same. Like if you're sitting next to this woman, she is gorgeous. Like she would be the definition of normative beauty, which is, like the way a face should be structured. There are theories on how beauty is classified. So you would fall under the definition of somebody who is attractive,
Like universal.
beautiful, universally beautiful, correct? Compared to me, that I love always being like, I am this monster. It's like,
No.
I don't want to make it sound like that, but what I'm saying is I am a different kind of attractive. I
Yeah.
think my level of attractiveness comes from my confidence,
Her
my
hair. Just
my
kidding.
hair, no, totally, my hair, my dimples. I think the whole package works. My face is not structurally appealing necessarily, but it's when you put it together. You know what the best example is? Cameron Diaz.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cameron Diaz is somebody who's extremely attractive. She's beautiful. I mean, beautiful and sexy and everything. But if you separate her like her features, her nose, her mouth, her eyes, they wouldn't be considered beautiful. Like nobody goes into plastic surgery and say, "I want Cameron Diaz's nose."
Oh yeah, okay.
You see what I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The same with me. But when put together,
It
and
works.
it works, and having that confidence. So I'm that kind of person, right?
Okay.
So for you to not be able to see yourself, how beautiful you are, it's so messed up because you are stunning.
It's really hard.
Hmm.
And I know part of it comes from social media and like beauty standards. The other day I was cooking dinner and I was sitting with my mom and I don't know how we started talking about it and I told her like I hate myself. I hate everything about myself. I like why was I even born?
No,
Like I
honey.
got to that point and like
Yeah.
my mom started like she broke down in tears like she couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know I shouldn't be talking to myself. I try to talk to myself with more love and empathy and trying to, you know, um, see it more how would my 3-year-old self
Hmm.
feel if I talked to her like that? And that's
Yeah.
been helping. Like I imagine my 3-year-old Maria crying in the little corner,
Yeah.
you know.
You would never talk to her like
I would
that.
never talk to her like
You would
that.
never talk to any child like
No.
that. So why would you talk to yourself like that?
So I'm working on that, but it's hard. The pressure
Yeah.
from everyone around me, and social media and beauty standards and the in
Yeah, the
in quotes, the
comparisons,
comparison, the
the
competition,
competition
other
comparison.
actresses,
Hmm.
my role model actresses, like, oh, she looks like this, I don't look like this, she has this, I don't have that. Like, it's it's a lot of noise
Yeah,
that sometimes you just have to mute
you have to.
for
You
your
have
own mental
to.
health.
You have to. And the funny thing is, you are part of the beauty standard. You know what I mean? Like, and that, so it shows that as women and as
That no one is
humans,
safe.
no one is safe in the sense that we don't, this society has created so many insecurities that even the ones that are either successful or beautiful or thin, even they don't believe that they're already there.
Mhm.
So we need to work on that as a society, as a community.
Yeah.
I haven't had plastic surgery. I'm 41. I haven't done anything to my face. No Botox. No, I haven't changed my nose. People have asked me to change my nose. I auditioned for this show that shall go unnamed. And the producer said, "We love Vanessa. She's fantastic. She's an amazing actress." And I was like, "Great, I'm going to book this part." No, people, it wasn't the case. What happened is they said, "We love her, but she is not attractive enough for a show. Our show needs her to be thinner, maybe 30 pounds less,
Mhm.
and she would need to change her nose."
Oh my God.
And I thought, you know what? This is not the show for me. And furthermore, my nose is the legacy of my family. My
Mhm.
nose is my mom's nose. It's my grandfather's nose. If I change this, I'm basically turning my back to my family. I'm not going to do that. So even though I sometimes feel pressured, people have mentioned it. Even then, I am not going that route. Maybe in the future when I'm like 60 or 70, I might do the pulling up of the eyes, things
Mhm.
like that, especially because the hooded eyes, I have hooded eyes. And sometimes it can, when you get older, it can be hard to see. So
Mhm.
for reasons obvious, like I would like to see, I may have plastic surgery that way, but not necessarily to look better physically or more
Mhm.
attractive. But then we need to close this with, I think, the biggest issue that we have, because you and I have talked about this many, many times, and that's body image. That's different from being beautiful. It's thinness
Yeah, body dysmorphia,
and body dysmorphia.
eating disorders.
We both have it. Two different generations.
Yeah.
I'm 41, you're 27,
26.
26. I want to think that you're older so I don't feel so bad. You're 26. We come from different groups of people, right? Meaning that you grew up with a different generation. I grew up with a different generation, and yet we both have the same problem.
Yeah.
I've had anorexia. I've been bulimic. I've done every single diet, everything, Atkins, keto, everything. I've had the best coaches in the world. I've been trained by the masters and the best nutritionists, and I've taken pills to get
Yeah.
thin that I didn't even know what they were. Can you imagine? I
Mhm.
took pills that I didn't know what was inside of
Mhm.
them, and I lost like 25 pounds in a month.
Wow.
I looked amazing, but I was sick, clearly. I mean, I could have been killed. It could have been poison.
Yeah.
Maybe it was. I still don't know.
Mhm.
And everything just to be thin. I've been bullied by strangers, but also by my own family. And for them, it's not bullying so much as they're afraid that I get fat, because they're afraid of diabetes and stuff like that, because it reigns in my family.
Mhm.
So I've grown up with that. I don't ever see my body as beautiful until now. I think now I've come to terms with it. This is what it is. It'll be big sometimes, and then it'll be small sometimes. But social media does create a pressure on being fit, not just thin, but fit.
Mhm.
There's a book that I read a million years ago when I was in university called Body Fascism, and it shows you how messed up it is, the idea that we want to become fit and machines, because it's part of the neoliberal rhetoric and narrative that we have to be efficient and utilitarian, right? And so we will work out to death, and we will work out doing things that we hate just to be thin. But think about that. Why would you do something that you don't like?
Yeah.
It's different to working out because you love, like in my case, I play volleyball. When I play volleyball, I'm the happiest person.
Mhm.
So if I play volleyball every day, that makes sense. I'm moving according to my needs of what I like and what I want. But if I move because I want to lose weight, then I'm actually changing myself to fit to a standard. It's different.
Mhm.
So the body fascism was about that. The idea that
Wow.
we've fallen into the trap of neoliberalism, even with our bodies.
Another thing that like really dictates the the beauty standard or the um, the ideal body type is fashion. You know that this year's trend was the 90s.
Yes, which was really odd to me because I've already worn this clothes. So it's like
I
I'm
know.
going
It's funny
back.
because it always comes back, but
It's I'm coming
you
back.
know, and
And
this
I
this
yeah.
fashion commentator on TikTok said, we have to be careful with our fashion trends because if the 90s grunge comes back, then the 90s bodies come back,
Hmm.
which is super extremely thin. And that's exactly what happened. Last year, we had more of a 70s, 80s
Yeah.
trend with a little fuller bodies. And now with the 90s, we're coming
Mm-mm.
back to the size 00,
Hmm.
you know, super skinny, scrawny looking girls, like
Yes.
anorexic looking girls. So we have to be careful with the, you know,
Yeah.
and draw where's the line drawn?
When you're
Where do we draw the line? You know,
when you're harming yourself, that's where we should draw the line. And the 90s clothes, yeah, you have those pants that fall under your hip.
you look like a drug addict. Yeah.
Yes. It's a different look. It's a
Hmm.
dangerous look.
And so people that got like a BBL or like
Hmm.
breast implants, like very big breast implants, are now reversing all those procedures.
Yeah.
And I don't have anything against plastic surgery. I mean, I don't think that's the point of this podcast
No.
or this episode. We're just saying like you are enough just the way you are. And if you do want to alter your face for whatever reason, like it's your body, it's your choice. I am pro choice in every aspect.
Yeah.
But that's very political and it's another for another episode.
Or maybe no episode so that we don't end up
Yeah.
in jail in our country.
Maybe for a private conversation between
Private
you and I.
conversation. Mhm.
But you don't have to alter your body to fit into a trend or fit into any,
Yeah.
you know, standard.
We are not body shaming anyone. Like,
Whatever feels good and is healthy,
yeah.
that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, including what you just said, including plastic surgery. We're not body shaming you if you have plastic surgery or you want plastic surgery. What we're saying is think why you're getting the plastic surgery.
Mhm.
Are you getting it because you need it? Or are you getting it because you're comparing yourself, like the study said, you're comparing yourself to what you're seeing on Instagram? Trends come and go. Your body and your health doesn't. Sometimes you can lose your life having plastic surgery. So I think we should not take these things lightly. We should have a conversation with ourselves as why are we doing this? Because we feel pressured. It's the wrong decision.
Mhm.
If you're removing your breasts, like in my case, I've thought about it many times, to reduce back pain and stuff like that. That makes sense because it's
Mhm.
about pain. It's about how I feel, my health. But if you're thinking about putting breast implants just to attract men, then you really need to evaluate if your value is what your body shows, because you're more than just your body, you're more than just your face. But unfortunately, social media doesn't make that very clear.
It doesn't.
And it's not their job. It's our job as a society to
It's all
say
like shades of
it's
gray
not.
with social media.
Yes. So I think that if you have any questions about social media that you want us to expand and elaborate, because we've run out of time, but these subjects matter. They
They do.
matter, and I think we'll keep coming back because we didn't even mention Be Real and
We
why we
didn't
love
even,
that.
yeah.
So we'll come back, to talk about this in another episode. Today we just touched on the 11 points that can impact our mental well-being from the use of social media.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, you can message Maria, and her handle is.
You can find me as MF Bruson, both TikTok and Instagram.
And you can find me as Vanessa Tomasino, TikTok and Instagram. And you can ask questions on Spotify as well. And we are very happy to expand and elaborate on this because it is a social problem.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you. See you on the next one.
Bye.